Amerikaner, also known as black and white cookies, are one of my all-time favorite desserts. I must admit that I didn't try my first one until I was well into my 20s and after moving to New York, but they are such a classic dessert and they actually have German origins. They were brought to the States by German immigrants in New York and outside of New York City, and that's why we know them as black and white cookies. But don't be surprised if you buy an Amerikaner in Germany and find that it's coated with only the white part of the cookie and a few decorative candies. But no matter how you make them, there's still a delicious combination between a cake and a cookie with an amazing topping, and I'm going to show you just how I make them. So let's go to the kitchen. To make the cookie batter, cream together softened butter and sugar, and then add 1 whole egg, vanilla extract, and then we're going to add our dry ingredients, which is flour, cornstarch, salt, baking soda, and baking powder. And we're going to add it in batches, and in between the flour mixture we're going to add in our buttermilk. And then again we'll add some flour, again some buttermilk, and last the rest of our flour. And once the dough is thoroughly combined, I'm just going to scrape down the edges and get ready to scoop the dough onto our baking sheet. So I've lined a baking sheet with some parchment paper, and taking an ice cream scoop, I'm scooping the dough into balls and placing it on the parchment paper. I like to dip the ice cream scoop in a little bit of warm water to make sure that the dough comes off the scoop a little bit easier. And be sure to space your cookies because they definitely will spread when they bake. And these are going to be some large cookies. Okay, so now using the back of a spoon that I've also dipped in a little warm water, I'm smoothing out the tops of the cookies. And once they're nicely smooth, it's time to place them in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. And when they're done, they'll be nice and golden around the edges, but still soft to the touch. While the cookies are cooling, let's make our topping. So the topping is essentially a mixture of powdered sugar and some cornstarch. And whisk that together. And then slowly add a little bit of water. And you want to add it slowly just to make sure you don't add too much. So we're going to pour half of our topping into a bowl and add some cocoa powder and whisk it together. And this is going to be our chocolate portion. Okay, so now it's time to start icing our cookies. So there are a myriad of different ways that you can do this, but the simplest way by far is just to take a simple butter knife and spread a little bit of the white icing on one half and a little bit of the chocolate icing on the other half. And keep going until all of your cookies are done. And try to resist eating a cookie in between this process. It might be difficult, but trust me, it will be worth the wait. And once I've iced all the cookies with the white icing, then I move on to the chocolate icing. And I like to do this step instead of doing it half and half with each cookie because it gives the white frosting a little bit of time to dry, which makes the process a little bit easier of doing the half and half on each cookie. And once you've finished icing all the cookies, if you can resist the wait just a little bit longer, the icing will dry and then you'll break open a beautiful black and white cookie. And look at that inside. The perfect consistency in between cake and a cookie. Absolutely divine. Guten Appetit.